There was a moment, quiet, almost unnoticed, when comparison entered your life. Not as a truth, but as a suggestion. A whisper that said, "Look at them. Now look at yourself." And slowly, what was once natural became something you measured. You began to wonder if you were enough in a world that never stopped showing you something else. But listen closely, you were never meant to compare. A sunset does not look at another sunset and question its colors. The ocean does not measure its depth against the sky. A flower does not hesitate to bloom because another bloomed differently. And yet, you were taught to do exactly that. To take something as natural as your being and place it beside another as if beauty were a competition. As if worth could be ranked. As if presence could be replaced. But comparison was never the truth. It was learned, and what is learned can be released. Because the moment you compare, you stop seeing yourself clearly. You begin to look outward for definitions that were always meant to come from within. You begin to forget that your beauty was never designed to look like anyone else's. There is something about you, your way of being, your way of responding, your way of simply existing, that cannot be repeated. Not improved by imitation, not replaced by resemblance. Because you are not a version of something else. You are an original presence. And original things are not meant to compete, they are meant to exist, to express, to move, to unfold in their own time, in their own way. Comparison asks, am I as good as them? But truth asks something different. Am I being myself fully? And in that question, something shifts. Because the moment you return to yourself, comparison loses its voice. It fades, not because you forced it to, but because it no longer belongs to how you see. You begin to notice things again. Your laughter, unlike anyone else's. Your kindness shaped by your own experiences. Your presence, felt in a way no one else can recreate. These are not things to compare. These are things to recognize. Because the truth has always been simple. You were never meant to become someone else. You were never meant to measure your worth against another life. You were never meant to shrink your light just because someone else was shining. You were meant to be, fully, honestly, without hesitation. And when you allow that, when you step out of comparison and into presence, something returns. Clarity, softness, freedom. You stop asking if you are enough, and you begin to feel that you always were. So if you ever find yourself looking outward and questioning your place, pause. Breathe, and come back to something simple. You were never meant to compare. You were meant to exist as only you can. And in that, you are already more than enough. You were never meant to compare is inspired by the poetry book, The Journey of the Epic Soul.